is a level 8. We're doing it in JavaScript. It's called Find the Nearest Square Number. As always, there's a link to the challenge in the show notes. Try it out before watching the video. That way, if you're stuck, you've got the video to fall back on. The other great way to get better at JavaScript is with repeated practice. So subscribe to the channel, and that way you're notified every time I post new content. So let's try this out. Your task is to find the nearest square number of a positive integer. So let's see. Let's just look at our tests. Okay. So the nearest square number of 1 is 1. It looks like you're always, you're not going less than. Okay, so I think what we need to do is find the square number that is less than the given number, and we need to find the square number that is bigger than or greater than or equal to the bigger number. And then that way we can just check the two and see which one's closer, okay? So what we'll do is, let's say, let's get a variable here. Let number 2 square equals, let's start with 1, okay? At some point, we're going to return this variable. It's obviously going to be modified by the time we're done with it, so we'll return it at some point, though. Number 2 square. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to have a while loop, and we'll say while number 2 square is less than, well, we actually have to square it. Let's do squared is going to be equal to the number to square, and then we need to square it, so we'll just do it that way. I'm sure that, okay, we could do math.pow 2 here. So this is a shorter way to write it, number to square, and we're taking it to the second power. So that's the same as squaring it. Okay, so what we'll do is while the squared is less than in, what we'll do here is increase the number to square, okay? And then we'll go ahead and increase the squared value, so squared, and we'll just throw that in there. Okay. And I don't need the let for the second time. Okay, so what we're doing is every time we increment, we're going to get this number up by 1, and then we'll square it. And then at some point, this number is going to be bigger than our in, bigger than or equal to our in. So what we'll do is once we're done with the loop, we're going to back it off 1. So we'll decrement this value by 1, square that, and we have our two comparisons. So inside of here, we'll say previous squared, we'll say const. We're not changing this value anymore. We're just creating it once. So previous squared is going to be equal to math.pow. And this will be number to square minus 1. And then squaring that. Okay. So what we need to do is subtract the previous squared and the current squared and see which one has a bigger delta, a bigger difference between the two. And we don't care if it's positive or negative, so we need to take the absolute value. And I believe JavaScript absolute value, I think it's just math.abs. Yeah, sure enough, math.abs is our value there. Okay, so what we'll do is, let's see, we'll say const difference is equal to math.abs in minus, so again, in is the parameter we've been caring about this whole time, in minus squared, and we'll do one more for the previous difference, okay, and then if the difference is if the difference is bigger than the previous difference, then we're going to return the previous squared. I'm sure there's a way to clean up this code a good bit. This is like War and Peace to get this thing solved. But I think this will work. Okay, expected 121 got 11. Oh, you're supposed to do, are you supposed to do the number itself? 121 got 11. Oh, yeah, it should be previous squared. Okay, number to square minus 1, take it to the second power. Difference is previous difference. If that difference is greater than the previous difference, then we return the previous squared. Otherwise, oh, we're going to return the squared. Whoops, okay. So the number to square was the one that's incrementing each time. I was wrong on that. What we're returning here, we're actually returning the squared. Okay, let's test that out. All right, finally got it. Great job, y'all.